So, hello everyone, good evening, and I hope everybody had a great day. And we're looking forward to a great meditation session tonight. So, before we get started, um, just a quick intro to if anybody's here for the first time, if you could just type into the chat. Some of you are already typing into the chat. So, welcome to all the folks here who are here for the first time. Just see. Great. Anybody here for the first time, for those who just joined? Um, thanks, Irving. I hope I pronounced that right. Hi, David. Glad to have you here. All right, so we will get started. So we have a few newcomers here, so that's great. Just a quick thing. My name is Anjan Upadhyay, and I'll be your host today. Very happy to be here. Before we start chatting about what the meditation is about, just for the next 60 minutes, let's assume that the most important thing is us. Let's be selfish for the next 60 minutes. So if you have any, alerts on the computer, on your phone, whatever it might be, just mute it and we'll pretend for the next 60 minutes that we are here for ourselves. That's pretty much it, really the requirement. So today's agenda, and it doesn't matter if you're here for the first time or you have attended before, we are going through a small sequence of going through different energy centers within us. And today we're going to go over the third energy center, and I'll explain for those who are doing this for the first time what that means, where that energy center is, what it does within us. Thank you for that feedback. Let me just quickly check. How is the audio now? Is it better? Somebody had a feedback they couldn't hear. I hope that works. All right, great, thank you. And then we'll actually do the meditation. It's very simple. There is no special requirement. So if you are seated comfortably, just make sure you're comfortable. Don't be too stiff. Don't be too slouched. It's very natural. It is something that has to happen in our awareness inside. So it has less to do with the physical aspect of our body and more to do with the internal aspect. So with that, we will get started. So I'm going to quickly jump to a slide here just to give you a quick kind of a positioning of what we are talking about. So Sahaja means something that is spontaneous, something that is easy. And also, it is made up of two syllables, Saha and Ja. Saha means with, and Ja is born. So something that we are born with. And what we are born with doesn't matter what ethnicity, what part of the planet we come from, as long as we are human beings, we are all born with a subtle system within us, which is made up of 7 energy centers, starting from the base of the spine till the top of our head. This is called the limbic area, also the fontanelle bone area. So this is the spot which used to be soft when we were all babies. So that's kind of the 7th energy center. And then the first energy center is on the base. Now, there is a sequence of energy centers. So the first one, then the second one is along the waistline. The third is around the navel, or actually right behind the navel. And that's the energy center we'll be talking about today. Then we have number 4, which is the cardiac area, which is the cardiac plexus, right behind the sternum bone. Number 5th, 6th, and 7th. So in general, the subtle system is made up of 7 energy centers, 3 of these vertical lines that you see that denote 3 energy channels within us. So one is in yellow, which goes up on the right side of our body. Then there's one in blue that goes up the left side of the body. and then there's one in the center. So as you can see here in the chart, the left side is more of our emotional side, relates to more of our past, our desires. So these are qualities or aspects of the left side. The right side has more to do with the action. So it is the one in yellow. So it gives us the quality of being futuristic, thinking about the future, action, be it mental or physical. So that's kind of the qualities of the left and the right. Ideally, we would like our awareness, our attention to be in the center. Now, this is important to understand what is our attention and what is our awareness. So if, let's say, I move this little cursor up and down, in your attention as you're watching the screen, because you can see and you can hear me, your attention goes to this red dot going up the channel, right? So our attention is a sum total of what our senses are giving us. It is guided by that. So when this energy system is awakened by virtue of an energy that resides at the base of our spine in a triangular bone called the sacrum. So this energy is a dormant energy. It's a residual energy. So unless we have had this experience before, we have no idea that this energy exists. But when this energy is awakened, it rises through and it brings our attention to this central channel. So normally, and back to the point of the left and the right, our attention is either in the future or in the past. So we kind of swing between the future and the past. And very rarely, unless we are stunned, let's say, by a, I don't know, beautiful view in nature or a beautiful painting or something that just stuns us into the present, very rarely has our attention ever kind of settled there. Now, what happens is when we are in the future or we are in the past, it's mainly because of our thoughts. So our thoughts either are from the past or the future. The present just is. We cannot think about it. It's just impossible to think about it because the moment you can think about it, it's either gone or it hasn't happened. So when this energy rises, it is the only event that one brings our attention inside, because normally it's outside on multitude of things. It brings the attention inside, and when this energy crosses the sixth center, which is roughly where our optic nerves cross over, is when we come into the state of meditation called as thoughtless awareness, where we are completely aware, but we are thoughtless. And logically, that should make sense, because the moment we become thoughtless means our attention, our awareness is in the present. We are in the present. Now, that is not the end. So we are not to focus here. This energy then takes our attention and it brings it to the seventh energy center. And when it crosses the seventh energy center, which is right here, for the first time, we start feeling this energy on our central nervous system as a cool breeze coming from the palm of our hands and from the top of our head. So that's kind of the physical manifestation. So it is not a mental game. It is not a trance. It is not a certificate at the end that, yes, this is done. It is something that has to actually happen, because this experience is what will give you the next push to go deeper within yourself. So those of us who are doing it for the first time need to understand that we cannot pay for this. It is a living process that has to happen. It is not something that can be forced on you either, because the whole idea of meditation, the whole idea of self-awareness is to have a greater freedom. So our basic human freedom is respected by this energy that is within us. So when this energy rises, it has to be because of our desire. And that is the only requirement. That is the only requirement. So we'll come back to this. I'll quickly go back a couple of slides so we can talk specifically about the third energy center. So the third energy center is right around the navel. It is called, in Sanskrit, it's called the Nabhi. And it has 10 subplexuses which have their own little qualities. But essentially, the Nabhi is located right there. And also, if you notice, on our fingers, remember how I said once this energy is awakened, we start feeling this energy on our hands. Not only that, but also our fingers represent one of the energy centers and the palm of our hand. So the middle finger on either hand is the one that denotes the left and the right aspect of this energy center. So the Nabhi is right there, and then the middle finger on each hand denotes the left and the right. So each of these energy centers has a left and right aspect because it is represented on the left side, which is the side of our emotions, our past, and it is also represented on the right side, which is the side of the future and our actions. So there is a correlation there. So what does this do within us? So at a very basic level, and we'll talk about the physical aspect as well. So our ability to be generous, our ability to have a desire to evolve. So let's take as an example all of us who are here together on a Thursday evening at 7 p.m. Eastern. So obviously there is something within us that is driving us to go deeper within. It is what Shrimataji, the founder of the meditation, would call as seeking. So we are seeking something where we have kind of recognized that our day-to-day life is quite mundane, and even though it's entertaining at times, even though it gives us pleasure, even though there is some level of satisfaction, we kind of somehow instinctively recognize that there has to be a deeper meaning to this. And that's why we are seeking. And that quality to evolve, to seek, comes from this energy center of the Nabhi, which is the navel. So a few qualities are listed here. So not only being driven to seek, but also it is also the point of satisfaction, because when the seeking is satisfied, this is the energy center where we feel that satisfaction, the spiritual satisfaction. In general, we might note that there are people who are instinctively never satisfied. They're always looking for the next thing, especially in a capitalistic society, right? So economics, the basics of economics is that, all wants in general are not satiable, and that's what drives the economy. Now, there has to be something that is within us that gives us that satisfaction of having or becoming one with the self, beyond which all other desires just kind of mellow down. So the Nabhi is also the area where we feel satisfied. So at a very basic level, our first seeking, as let's say at an animal state or at a very basic human state, is food, right? We have hunger as a seeking. Now when we eat, we feel satisfied. All of that is being orchestrated in a way by this energy center. And at a very subtle level, at a spiritual level, we are seeking, and when that seeking is satisfied, is when we feel this energy center coming into balance. Also, the Nabhi is the one where we get the sense of righteousness, not a clinical righteousness, but a righteousness which has compassion behind it, which has the human, in a way, the human values behind it, which not only is not selfish, but which is more collective in nature. How to accept oneself. All of these qualities start manifesting. And as you can see from these qualities, right, these are not things that we can learn from a book. These are things that are there in all of us in some proportion, one maybe more than the other. And the goal is that when we allow this energy to rise and we meditate, slowly but surely this energy starts nourishing and bringing this energy center into balance, by virtue of which all these qualities start slowly manifesting in our behavior, in our attention, in our attitude. So that's kind of in general what the Nabhi does. At a physical level, of course, because it's right near the navel, the organs it manages are, of course, the stomach, the kidneys, part of the liver. So our physical organs, if this energy center is out of balance, those are the organs within our physical body that get impacted. So any imbalance there, any disease there, is typically a result of an imbalance of this energy center. And we'll touch upon this green circle around this. It'll be more obvious on the next chart. maybe on the next week's thing, this 3A is, we'll touch upon this more because this is very tightly related to number 2 and number 3. So number 2 we had covered last time, which is of creativity, of knowledge, of pure knowledge, not the mental knowledge that we are used to, but the pure knowledge, which is of the self. And then the third one is the seeking, the evolving aspect, and generosity and satisfaction. So I already explained quite a bit about the subtle energy center, and I forgot to give my usual disclaimer that you do not need to remember any of this to actually make the meditation effective. So just as a recap, the left side is the side of our desire, our emotions. The right side in yellow is the side of our action. So the left hand and the right hand, respectively, reflect these qualities, the left side and the right side. So we will be using our hands to work on our own energy centers as we go through the meditation. You will be, for the most part, having the left hand open in your lap, and the right hand will be placed on different energy centers, and I'll show you that in the very next slide. So with that, I will pause for a second, and if you guys have any questions, please feel free to ask in the chat or in the Q&A. So there's a question here that if you feel any sensation in the hand, for example, does the left hand reflect the left channel and the right hand reflect the right channel? That's exactly right. So as you can see here, the right channel is reflecting on the right side. The right hand, if you feel anything on the right hand, any energy center, it is from the right side. If you feel anything on the left, then it is from the left side. Yeah. So while we are at it, a quick tip to remember which finger correlates to which energy center is if you start from the heel, right? So this is energy center number 1. Then this is energy center number 2. You skip 1, you come to the middle finger, that's energy center number 3. You skip 1, that's energy center number 4. You come back to the first skipped finger, that is energy center number 5, and then this is energy center number 6, and in the center is energy center number 7. So 1, 2, skip 1, come back, go to the next one, and center. So it's just a little trick to remember which energy center falls where while we are waiting for some Q&As or any questions on the chat. So if there are no questions, we will proceed with the meditation. Great. So here at the bottom are kind of the different areas where we will put our right hand. If you notice, for all of the meditation, the left hand stays open in our lap. And the reason is because the left hand is the side of our desire. So our left hand is open as an expression of our desire that we want this experience. The right hand will mostly move on the left side of our body. So we'll take our right hand first and place it on the heart, the upper part of the abdomen, lower part of the abdomen, and then back up the same way. And then we'll go to the neck, the forehead, the back of the head, and then at the top of the head. So this last one, we place the center of the palm on top of our head, right? Where I said was the 7th energy center. So I don't know if you're able to see the video, you can see where I'm placing my hand. So you take the center of the palm and you place it here. And here, you'll push the fingers back, and with a good pressure, you will massage the scalp. So you're actually moving the skin. So you're massaging the scalp clockwise 7 times. So that's what we have to do on the 7th energy center. The rest of the ones are fairly straightforward, as you can see from the illustration. Now that being said, as I mentioned when we began, is that the only thing that drives this energy is our desire. So, as we do the meditation, the key thing to remember is that it is not our effort, but it is our desire that is going to make it work. So, we are not to put in an effort to manage our attention, to control our thoughts, to push our thoughts away, to compartmentalize things. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. Because this energy, although I'm calling it an energy, is way more than that. It is very much aware of each one of our individual states. It knows us very well because every one of us has this energy within, residing at the base of the spine, and it knows us individually. So when we desire for it to awaken and give us this state of meditation and self-knowledge, it rises with that complete knowledge within us through the spinal cord, knowing exactly what state the energy centers are within us. So when we meditate, you'll hear me repeat this a few times, is do not fall into the normal human conditioning of trying to putting in an effort. So you don't get any extra marks for trying to control your thoughts. You don't get any extra credit for being able to push your emotions away through your effort. Let this energy do it for you. The only thing that is asked of us is that we honestly ask for it and then kind of stay out of the way and we let it work. So with that, we will get started. So first of all, you don't need to sit cross-legged. If you can, that's great. If not, sit comfortably in a chair and then have both your feet placed apart from each other, flat on the ground, on Mother Earth. And then have both your hands comfortably open in your lap with the palm facing up. As you can see in the illustration, there is no special position. Just comfortably have the hand open with the palm up and the fingers slightly apart from each other as they would naturally fall. And then let's go ahead and close our eyes. It is important to close the eyes so our attention can move inside. Leaving our left hand open in our lap, we take our right hand and we place it on the heart. We'll be asking or saying certain affirmations that relate to each energy center, and we'll be addressing it to our own Kundalini, our own energy that is within us. So, at the level of the heart, we begin by asking a very important fundamental question. Silently within, we ask a total of 3 times, energy, am I the pure self? Or energy, am I the pure spirit? Three times we ask this question, either of those two. Energy, am I the pure self? Or energy, am I the pure spirit? And now we take our right hand and we place it on the upper part of the abdomen, where the rib cage kind of meets the stomach. Here, we ask another important question 3 times. Energy, am I my own master? Energy, am I my own master? 3 times we ask this question. Next, we take our right hand and we'll place it on the lower part of the abdomen on the left hand side. Remember how I said in the beginning that it is our desire that makes it work. So this energy center is where the knowledge, what is called as pure knowledge, because it is the knowledge of the self, resides. So in our freedom, with humility, 6 times we ask from the heart, energy, please grant me the pure knowledge. Energy, please grant me the pure knowledge. Now we take our right hand and we'll place it on the upper part of the abdomen, on the left hand side again. And just push a little bit or press a little bit with the tips of your fingers. This time around, a total of 10 times we will say, or we will assert with confidence, energy, I am my own master. Energy, I am my own master. This energy center is the one where we build or develop the sense and the capacity of self-mastery, of self-knowledge, where through the knowledge we become, in a way, our own teacher, because it is our self that is guiding us. So here we are just asserting that. There is no third party between ourself and us. So energy, I am my own master. 10 times we say that with confidence. Now we take our right hand and we'll place it on the heart. At the level of the heart, we say a total of 12 times, energy, I am the pure self. Or energy, I am the pure spirit. As Srimataji would say often, that we have no idea how beautifully we are made, and that real self is actually within us. So here we are just asserting that, because in reality we are not this ego, these conditionings, our emotions, our education, our jobs. We are this pure self that resides within. So 12 times we say that with confidence, that energy, I am the pure self. Next, we take our right hand and we place it at the corner of the neck and shoulder on the left hand side and turn the head to the right. Here, don't overthink this, don't try to analyze it. Simply understand the basic principle that the present is the reality. That's just the way it is, and we cannot change it. So here, understanding that logic, we say a total of 16 times with confidence that energy, I am not guilty of anything. Whatever we think we might have done, this energy is completely capable of bringing us beyond that, giving us the ability to witness it, to face it, correct it if we can, and move on. But if we hang on to things that we think we have done wrong, it accumulates here and takes our awareness away from reality. So not to feel bad or guilty about anything that's in the past. It doesn't exist. It's against reality. It's against our awareness. So here 16 times we say that energy, I am not guilty of anything. Just let it go. Next, we'll take our right hand and we'll place it flat across our forehead. Here, we bend the head forward a bit and just let it rest in the palm of our hand. And with a very simple heart, we say a few times, the number of times doesn't matter, but we say from the heart, energy, I forgive everyone from my heart. Do not think about specific people, specific circumstances, but right here, as we are all together in this moment, let us have the openness, the willingness in our heart. Remember, the work, the actual work of taking that load away of our angst, our anger, is the job of our Kundalini. She will do it. But in our freedom, we have to give it up. So, here, with a very humble, open heart, we just say that energy, I forgive. I forgive everyone. And I forgive everything from my heart. We just let it go. You will find that as you meditate and you start seeing this more meaningfully from the heart, you will feel very light. We do not realize how much of this we carry around. So, energy, I forgive. I forgive everyone. Alright, so now we'll take our right hand and we'll place it on the back side of the head. Tilt the head back and once again let it sit comfortably in the palm of our hand. Here, again, self-condemnation is not the idea, but as a matter of protocol, out of humility, we ask for forgiveness from this energy because she is doing all this heavy lifting, and all day long we do things unknowingly or knowingly that are against our own self. So here we just say that energy, please forgive me for any mistakes I might have committed, knowingly or unknowingly. Energy, please forgive me for any mistakes I might have committed, knowingly or unknowingly. And now in the final energy center, bend the head forward just slightly and take the center of the palm and place it on top of your head. And remember how I mentioned early on that you push your fingers back so your palm becomes a little tight. You stretch your fingers in a way, and then you apply a good pressure. Here, a total of 7 times, we massage the scalp clockwise. And 7 times from the heart, we ask that energy, please grant me my self-realization. Energy, please grant me my self-realization. Self-realization is the awakening of this energy, the Kundalini within us. And by that awakening, when it crosses the 6th center, is when we come into the state of meditation. So very deliberately, slowly, 7 times, please ask. Energy, please grant me my self-realization. And once you're done, you can bring your right hand back to your lap. Have both the hands comfortably open, palm facing up. Let your eyes stay closed. And allow your attention to be at the top of the head where your hand was a few moments ago. For the next few moments, we are asserting that nothing else is important except that our attention gets a chance to move within as the Kundalini carries it. So now let us just watch inside, first of all, how we feel, and secondly, are there any thoughts right now? Remember, no effort, we are just observing, just watching. If in general we see that the thoughts are quiet, allow your attention to just go to the top of the head. There might also be a situation with some of us where we know that the thoughtlessness comes in for a second, 2 seconds, and then again the thoughts come in. So in that case, we are not to get frustrated or fight the thoughts. Instead, we will find that we can watch our thoughts because we are not our thoughts. The thoughts are just coming from the past or the future. So since we are not our thoughts, we can watch them. And whatever comes up, we simply watch it and say, not this, not this thought. And now, leaving our right hand open in our lap, our eyes still stay closed, we take our left hand and we place it above the head, so not touching the hair, but few inches above. Have the head bend slightly forward and move the hand back and forth on top of your head. And just see if there is a spot where you can feel a very gentle breeze-like feeling coming from under your hand. Just see if you do. Alright, so we'll bring the left hand down, have it open in our lap, and do the same thing with the right hand. If you find the spot, you can stop. You don't need to continue moving. The movement is just to see the difference of where it might be emanating from the top of the head. One last time, we'll bring the right hand down, have it open in the lap, and repeat with the left hand. We can go ahead and bring our left hand back to our lap. Let our attention stay at the top of the head. We're going to give it a few moments to work out. It might help if we take our right hand once more and place the center of the palm on the top of our head. And we just let that touch guide our attention to the seventh energy center. And once we feel settled, we can bring the right hand back down again. We can slowly go ahead and open our eyes whenever we are ready. So, how do we all feel? You can share in the chat. If we have any questions, we can ask that as well. Great. So yeah, That's great. Thank you for sharing that. So let us do this. We still have about 10 minutes. So let us do another very short meditation. This is something you can try at home on a daily basis when you do the meditation. So everything we did right now, you do not need to repeat. But instead, once again, just have both your hands open in your lap, and let us pretend this is us meditating in the morning. We just sat down. So very simply, we sit comfortably with both our feet flat on the Mother Earth, our hands comfortably open in our lap, and we close our eyes. The easiest way to begin is from a place of humility, and that begins in the heart. So this energy within us is working 24/7 once it's awakened. So when we sit for meditation, we can simply put our attention on our heart. We can also ask this energy, that energy, please let my attention come into my heart. Don't try to control anything. Just ask that energy, please let my attention come into my heart. And then we balance the left side, which is the left channel, by keeping the left hand open in our lap and just bringing the right hand to the side. So if we are sitting on the chair, we just bring it to the side and point it towards the earth, the Mother Earth, because that is the element of the left side. And we simply ask silently within that energy, please let all the imbalances of my left side be absorbed into the Mother Earth. Energy, please let all the imbalances of my left side be absorbed into the Mother Earth. And you give it a few moments to work out. We simply watch the thoughts, and if anything comes up, we just say, not this thought. Then we bring our right hand back to our lap, have it open with the palm facing up, and next we just balance the right side. So for that, we bend the left arm at the elbow, bring it up in a way so the palm is facing towards the back. So the right hand is open in our lap and the left hand is raised up, bent at the elbow, and the palm is facing to the back, the element of the right side is the ether or the sky. So on the right side, we ask that energy, please let all the imbalances, the overactivity, be absorbed into the ether. Energy, please let all the imbalances of my right side be absorbed into the ether. And you give it a few moments to work out. Just see now, while you're holding this position, if the attention, the awareness has started moving towards the top of the head, towards the seventh energy center. Don't try to push it through or control it or focus it. Just see where is the attention. And then we can go ahead and bring our left hand back to our lap. And one last time, we can take our right hand and place it on top of the head. Massage it a few times clockwise. Just really desire that energy, please grant me the state of meditation. And just let your attention stay there. You can bring your right hand back to your lap. We can go ahead and open our eyes. So this balancing of the left side and the right side is something you can do in the morning. Again, like you saw, it's nothing long. And then when you put your hand here and ask for the state of silence, slowly you will find that the attention will start settling here. And then just sit in that state for a few minutes. It's the quality. So even if we touch that first day for 2 seconds, 3 seconds, the next day when we do it, we'll find it'll increase. So ideally you want to meditate in the morning and in the evening, and just simply balance the left and the right side and have your hand up for a few moments to let the attention settle. And just do this, and then when you come back and we meditate together again, you will find that the experience is much deeper. So don't limit your meditation to this 1 hour. Think of it as a state, right? So when we are thoughtless, we are in a state. And ideally, if that is the reality, if that is the present, we should be there all the time and only think when we need to. So that's the paradigm we have to flip. So there's one very interesting question, is that at some point if you drift off almost to sleep, is that okay? Ideally not. So that typically happens when we are very overworked, when we have really exhausted the right side. So when this Kundalini is trying to come up and balance it, typically that shift happens that people doze off because it's trying to bring us into balance. So slowly that should go away as you continuously meditate, as the right side comes into balance, or when you're going into that overdrive, you now have the sensibility or the sensitivity to detect that I'm going a little out of balance. Let me bring myself back into balance. So that should slowly go away. We have to be alert. The idea of meditation is to heighten our awareness. Sometimes we might not notice how the time passes because we are enjoying it so much, but we shouldn't be asleep. We have to be alert. So hopefully that helped. There is one other question we'll quickly field. So somebody asked where we can find today's recording. The recording will be available on the website. There is a section for previous recordings. There's also a Sahaj online YouTube channel. So if you go to YouTube and you do a search for the Sahaj online channel and subscribe to it, the moment we post a recording, you'll get a notification. So hopefully that helps. And I really thank you all for coming, for being together. It's great to meditate. And have a great, great evening. And I'll see you guys next week. Take care. Bye-bye.